Hey everybody, this is Blue. I hope everybody's doing great tonight. I am doing awesome. We are always looking for the next best thing to put into our game. May it be terrain, counters, whatever. We want to always improve our game. And as the little pic there says, I found a Papers Counter archive. And I went nuts. And a little funny story on that. So I found a whole bunch of counters sheets, as you can see, on this one place from Internet Archive. I swear we need to look through that first before we give some of these big companies our money, because using Internet Archive, it's free. And so I was going through it and I just fell in love with it because I found so many things. And so I started to copy and save. And then I had to get everything put together and organized because you can only save one set at a time, which is, this size here. And you can fit 2 on a sheet of paper. And so, not to waste paper, I put them together and I was saving them and numbering them so I could be somewhat organized. And oh boy, when I got done putting everything together and saving them under the numbered system that I was having, I saved 123 pages. And on your standard, set right here, there's 12 per page. Well, 12 per set. So that would mean that there's 24 to a page. And with me saving over 120 pages, when I get done cutting everything, I am going to have close to, let's go 2,700 new counters for my game. And that is still blowing my mind. Funny thing, I consider myself a nerd. I always try to have stuff ready and all that. I was not expecting to see all these counters and finding so many that I wanted. And so, I got everything printed off, cut up and all that, getting ready to do the gluing. And I went and I had barely 1 tube of glue. And I just wanted to use this as a segue. I use Elmer's glue, the purple disappearing stuff that school kids use, because that's all you need. You don't need anything super fancy. You don't need the artisan's glue with extra tack and all that. That's kind of a joke, but get the purple glue. The nice thing about this is because you are doing a white background, and if you use white glue, it's hard to tell if you got the whole thing covered. You don't want any gaps in the glue coverage for when you cut them up. Then you don't want them to, separate. If you use the purple glue right here, you can get a nice, you can see where you put it and make sure you got a nice even coat everywhere. So that will help you create a better product. Okay? And so, here we go. This is from the Wayback Machine, which is connected to Internet Archive. And the website is www.7-wonders.co.uk/paperfindersindex.html. I will have the link down in the description. And so this is what I find. And the character stand-ups accessed through these pages are intended as a free resource for RPGers. No commercial gain is involved whatsoever. All images retain their original copyright. Each page shows reduced size images for each template, so you know what you are downloading. Scroll down and browse all categories or click on relevant headings below to jump directly to that section. All right. So give me a chance to get this enlarged so you can go through it with me. Yeah, I was like a kid going to a candy shop right here when I saw this. Alright, so the category starting off is Marvel Comics, DC Comics, Independent Comics, Mutants and Masterminds, role-playing game genres, and film, television, and video games. This was absolutely wonderful for me because those last two categories. So as you can see, we have the Marvel Comics, and you know, you got your heroes. We'll just go on some random ones here. Alright, and you can see you got the Fantastic Four, you know, Avengers. There are a lot of these characters I've never heard before. Never did much on comic books, but I have read quite a few in my lifetime. And so they got a lot of B-list characters in here. I mean, right there's Professor X, and you know, I don't think that particular image would be easy to find to make a counter. And so there is a lot of these because, you know, as you can see, you know, they have almost 160 pages with multiple I think it's 10 separate mini sheets on each one. You know, it's same thing with the villains. Ooh. Never saw that one before. Sword of the God Jewel. Excuse me, everybody. So, I had to get it. Didn't want to forget about it. But you can see, just like for the heroes, they have a lot. Loki, my gosh. There's some of these that are various sizes. Oh. And then you can just go to the next page. Yep. And so there are a lot of the Odin Force. Okay. Wow. But what I think gives this the advantage is they got the Goons section too. Yeah, Sentinels. So you can get the large scale Sentinels to print off. And, ooh, the modern Sentinels too. Sweet. I gotta go through this again because I like that Frost Giant. Kree Sentry. Okay. So, you know, they got it where you can get the massive armies to fight against on your hex boards, your grid maps, and all that. Yes, I know people want to say, you know, we should be going for a theater of the mind, but if you have more combat-oriented adventures, this would be a blessing for you. And they got other categories, Marvel Cast, you know, your backgrounds, that's Murdoch from, no, not Murdoch. The from Spider-Man. Okay, then they got the same thing for DC Comics. So I mean, you can then print off and have a battle between Marvel and DC and have the same scale paper miniatures for it. I think that's awesome. And then they have independent comics. Now, this is something that once I saw, I just loved it. The category subcategories: Dark Horse, Imagine, Dynamite, various 2000 AD, and Magna. But we're just going to hit Imagine because of, oops, don't do the picture, click the numbers. Right there, Flaxian. And if you see in Flaxian, you know what's on here. There's Martians, and there they are. Omni-Man, Invincible, Adam Eve. You know, they have the Invincible counters here for you. And so, and I'm not sure if the bottom one is part of Invincible or not, but they just have a lot that you can use here, and so you can mix and match as much as you want. Mutant Masterminds, I never got into that, but they got the extras, and they just have, again, just like all the others. But this is a beautiful, yeah, I was drooling with this. Sci-fi characters, sci-fi aliens. They got horror based, fantasy characters, fantasy monsters, dinosaurs. Oh, their dinosaurs are awesome. And so you can get where you can get various sizes, but I love the detail. Pulp Adventures. Oh, they got the Spies, Deadlands. They even got some historical with World War One, World War Two. Just so many of these are awesome. And so, if you're really wanting to build a collection, here you go. And here's the part that I also drooled over. Star Trek. Right there. Star Wars. Alien vs. Predators. Not that big of a fan. The Terminator, they only have the one for the T-100s. And then Doctor Who. Okay. I grew up on Doctor Who. And so now I can, with these counters, I can have representations for some of my favorite characters from the past. I could create a mashup and all of that and have a lot of fun. So Starship Troopers, Planet of the Apes, Firefly, yes. I am going to be able, and I already got it cut out, my counter for now from Firefly. Shepherd Book is also going to be a part of this, and I was thinking of having Mal being teamed up with the War Doctor, because yes, in the Doctor Who's, they have all the doctors up to Matt Smith, up to number 11. They do not have the last 3. And they have all the Aeons, Cybermen, Starlux. They have them all. And they have most of the companions. I did not see Adric when I was going through the list. Oh, what the heck. And so you can see, some of the counters they have for Doctor Who. Yes, you can have a weeping angel. Yes, you can print out the section where you can actually make a TARDIS, which I thought was cool. And there's some of the renditions of the Doctor. More Doctors and various other. So if you are a Doctor Who fan, like I am, you can just see all the different characters that they have in here. So I'm going to be doing a mashup with Leela and Sarah Jane, of course, and Donna. I thought that would be pretty interesting. There is nothing under the Harry Potter. They probably got into some legal issues and had to remove that. Robotech, God. When I was much, much younger, I had done some Robotech adventuring with a couple people. And from that point on, I just loved Robotech. And, you can see they got it where you can get all of these pretty good detailed mechs for your game. So you can have a good combat game. You could literally have a war game with these. And they have the Mac Mini Monster. That was the first one that I printed off after I got everything saved, organized, and all that. I did the Mac 2 Monster first because I think it's so darn awesome. Sorry, everybody, that's just my phone going off. Probably my wife calling me. There. And so they got some classics. It's Hanna-Barbera. So if you're an older person, all they got are these two sheets here, but Space Ghost. Jace, Jane, and Blip. But when I was a kid, I remember watching Blue Falcon and Dynamite. And you got the Scooby-Doo before the whole reboots and all that. And so you can even have some of their monsters in here to add to the fun. Street Fighter and Archer. And that's all of them that were on this page. But like I said, you can see there is a lot to where you can download. So you can be picky if you wanted to. Okay? And so I'm having fun with this. You can get them any size. This is the dragons, the very dragon you've seen up there. At this stage on this one, I haven't done any of the trimming. But a lot of different sizes. And if I remember right now, the goons, like here, Morlocks from Time Traveler. No, the Time Machine, yeah. And so I thought, man, I could have too much fun with this. And for those of you who are interested in Terminator, right there's the only ones they have. The T, what they say is 101. But I just want to show a couple more real quickly. They got the droids from Star Wars. They got the, what's this called? Battle droid on a speeder. you know, the air speeders, Bantas, and Jawas. They have it all. And so I should have brought them all over here, but like I said, I printed off 120 pages. And so I am going to have an additional 3,000 probably easy. How much is this going to cost me? Maybe $10 at the most here. These glue sticks here, these are $1 each at Dollar General. Then it's the paper for printing them out. This is cardstock. Use cardstock, because then when you fold it and glue it, it kind of gives you 3 thicknesses to work, and it'll keep these together and they'll last longer. Then printer ink. I have a tankless printer because I knew I was going to do stuff like this, and the tankless printer ink is cheap. It is worth it to get a tankless printer. I do not work for HP. I do not get any money from them. I'm just trying to save you guys some money. So if you do a lot of printing, yes, the initial for the tankless printer was $300, but it's already paid itself off with the money I saved, because I'm no longer buying those $30 and $40 ink cartridges. I buy a tube of ink. I buy a tube of ink and I can pour it right into the tank. And this will last you a long time. I have only used 2 of these, and I have printed off about 40 books, and this only cost $8. You'll save more money in the long run, and it's also nice not having to change the cartridge anymore. So I've rambled on enough about this. If you like paper counters, this is awesome. This is a treasure trove. We should be going through Internet Archive and seeing what other free resources are available. After I get done with my project here, I'm probably never going to have to look for counters again. I will, like I said, with over 3,000 different counters, plus what I already have, I'm going to be over doubling what I have. I will have all the counters I'll ever need, which is fun, because then you could be creative. If you are thinking of doing things like this, there you go. You see, these are already colored. I mean, they are right off the printer, colored. I never have to paint. And so 3,000 of the plastic, metal, whatever, printed 3D miniatures, buying them alone is going to cost, probably close to $40,000 for every miniature. And then you got to paint it. There's all that time and money involved. Whereas I am going to have 3,000 paper miniatures. Well, I'm probably going to have a total of 5,000 paper miniatures. And it's going to cost me less than $40. So if you are on a budget, this is something you might want to consider. So anyway, I've rambled on long enough, everybody. I'm going to have some more fun to start gluing and cutting. So everybody, please take care and have a wonderful day. Be at peace.